Alright, hey guys. I just had to get some stuff set up. Let me know if you guys can hear me, if it's too loud, too quiet. This is my first time using a microphone for a stream, so we'll see how it is. Alright, let's get going. So I only have about one commission to do today for the charity stream, and once that one's all done, I'll probably wrap it up. So it'll be kind of a shorter, relaxed stream. We'll see how it goes. Something that kind of stinks today. So I downloaded the newest version of Metabang this morning because I get that notification and everything. And now there's just no shortcuts. Like I don't know where they went. I reported it to their bug squad or whatever, but I haven't heard anything, which isn't awesome. So if you're wondering why I'm having to go everywhere in order to grab certain tools and stuff, that's gonna be why. Yeah. Social distancing. How's social distancing going? It's going pretty good. It's kind of a weird situation for me. So all of my roommates. Okay, Wild Things can't hear anything. Let me see if I can turn up some volume. I just don't want to hurt anyone's ears. That is something that I want to be mindful of, especially since I have a dishwasher going on in the back. Let me know if that's any better, Wild Things. So social distancing for me, it's been interesting. I live in a college dorm with three other roommates, and all of whom have moved out in the past 2 weeks. So now I have this basically a townhouse all to myself, and it's weird. It's really weird because I've just always been used to living with people. It's not horrible. Oh, good, good. I'm glad it's good now. And then yeah. So I've just been alone at the apartment, which is really good for practicing, and it's awesome for homework and commissions because I just set up shop in the living room and do that all day. But it is it's horrible for me keeping a routine. I can't stick to any kind of steady schedule. I'll just do whatever all day long, and it's interesting. Yeah. How's social distancing going with everyone else? Kind of a fun design. I've never done this type of half water character. They're really popular on Amino. I mean, more power to whoever thought up the idea first, because honestly, they're really fun. Yeah, that's awesome. Wild things. Sorry if you're getting this like a minute late or something. I have like a weird delay going on with the live stream versus the chat. But I just got it, so it's like time traveling, I guess. Yeah, definitely. I'm getting a lot of animation stuff and art stuff done. Like if I wasn't in quarantine, I wouldn't be able to do this, basically. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise for me personally. Oh man, yeah, that is tough, Metal Leaf. I can imagine. I actually had, I think it was 3 or 4 concerts planned for the rest of the semester. I'm a performance major. I do clarinet, and they canceled all of them, which is crazy to me. Well, not crazy to me. It was disappointing, I should say. One of them was like my recital or the class recital, which really didn't do awesome. Didn't put more voice acting and singing. Oh, that is awesome. That is fun. That's really good. Yeah, I've been working on a few music projects for those of you who like follow all the music stuff that I do, like all the original songs. I'm in contact with one person right now. And yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Hmm. Trying to figure that out. Let's see. Hmm. A minute. I'm gonna see if this character has any more images because I want to make sure I get their back view right. Hmm. Okay, I think I get it. Yeah, yeah, okay. So this little guy, I guess. I think since I just have the one commission today, I'm only going to do only. I'm going to be doing like 2 different sketches for it, kind of. Oh, you sent it in. That's awesome. I haven't been checking very well. I'm actually planning on retooling how I do the auditions pretty soon. Just, I've had the same system for, I think, heavens, like 1, 2 years. I think it's about time that I switch it up just a bit, you know? And I want to open up some opportunities for people other than vocalists to collaborate with me on the songs. I want to open up the possibility for artists, like visual artists, for like visuals and stuff, or other people like producers for like music, maybe a few guest musicians in like the instrumental sense. I've been interested in doing that because it's fun as having like what I like to call my standard format of like Just a lot of digital instrumentals, maybe a guest vocalist or two, and then a clarinet interlude. As fun as that is, it can get a bit samey, and I want to extend out like my style a bit, or like the scope of the project I'm doing with music. It's really cool. Thanks, Metal Leaf. That's really nice of you to say. I think it's gonna be awesome. I have the Google form ready, and I want to make an announcement video for it and everything. That's coming down the pipeline in a few months. A few months, goodness. In a few weeks. I'm trying to move over to weekly uploads, at least while we're all in quarantine, you know? Since I'm able to. But yeah. Yeah, next week I'm thinking. I'm definitely going to be releasing just the unfinished work file for The Choice, which is that animated series I was pushing for a while back in 2018 and working on. Just because I know a lot of people subscribe to me for that, and I feel bad that I haven't released much content for it. I think I should release the unfinished files so those people who have been wanting to see it and have only stuck around for that can feel if they can head out if they want to. I don't want to feel like I'm forcing people to stay, you know? Not a fun feeling. I'm gonna put the rubber duck right there because I think that's really cute. Yeah, what's weird with the shortcut keys, the only one that's working is like the hand to move stuff around. No, none of my other ones are working. None of the undo or redo. And actually, none of like the regular controls are working either. I have to like press all the buttons like a pioneer. I want to make that guy bigger. He's too little. If y'all have any requests for music, feel free to send them in. Uh, I'm trying to stick mostly to instrumental, just because I personally can have issues, can like run into problems when I'm trying to talk over another voice. It like can just get hard to focus. So we're just going through like essentially my, I guess the right word is wind ensemble, wind symphony kind of playlist on Spotify right now. It's not really like specifically classical or anything because there's quite a bit of modern stuff. So there's just winds, I guess. there's a lot of stuff that I've played in here. I'll have to tell you guys whenever that comes up. One of the songs a few uh, a few songs ago was one of the pieces I did last semester. It's called Armenian Dances. There was a part in the middle. Actually, that might not have been Armenian Dances. That might have been something else. Never mind. I'd scratched that. That was something else, I think. I'll have to mention it if it comes up again. Right now it's playing as Rite of Spring. For those who don't recognize it, it's one of my favorite pieces. Just good stuff. I've been meaning to. They have a recording of the original cast ballet from 1975 up on YouTube, just free to watch. Last time I checked, at least, and I really want to check it out because I've seen like a little snippet of it in my music history class, and it's just really. It looks fun. It looks fun is the wrong word. It looks really interesting. I think is a better way to describe it. Yeah. Something interesting about Rite of Spring. So it premiered in I think it premiered in France. It's actually a ballet, and Igor Stravinsky is the guy who wrote it. He was interviewed I think a few days after, and something interesting with Rite of Spring. It sort of deals with the idea of like how ancient civilizations acted. I think is a good way to put it, or like an imaginated. I can't speak today. How a hypothetical old civilization acted, and in order to sort of show that kind of aesthetic, they went for like a more modern ballet kind of dance rather than the classical stuff. And a lot of people, because ballet was huge at the time, a lot of people were very, very unhappy to see that contemporary dance in like a ballet. And there were like riots in response to the dance style, which is crazy to me nowadays. But it's just an interesting, fun little fact. What is that? Are you still in contact with all the voice actors for the choice? Yes and no. I still have like their emails and stuff from heaven knows how long ago, but I haven't contacted them about that. I've heard from some of them. I've heard a bit from the voice actor for one of the characters called Griff. He was an awesome person to work with. Fantastic. If you ever come across the channel Randy Might Do Stuff, that's the person. Phenomenal. Really nice person. Really, they're awesome. You should check them out. And then I've heard a bit from Nays. Or I think they changed their channel name. I don't remember what to. I heard a lot from them near the beginning of 2019. I haven't heard much from them since I think about September. I always have to know. Okay. So this is actually the main solo piece I worked on last semester. It's the Weber Clarinet Concerto. This obviously isn't my recording. This was done by Sabine Myers, who was one of the first. I think she was. Gosh, I'm gonna have to look this up. So she was. She's still alive today, I think. Don't want to say anything until I see her page because I worry that I'm gonna mess it up. Sabine Meyer, there she is. She's one of my favorite clarinetists. She's awesome, and she has a lot of recordings. She's super prolific. Yeah, she's still around. That's nice. Okay. Where is she? No, there was something related to. Here it is. Yeah. So she began her career. I'm just reading straight off of the Wikipedia article. So she began her career as a member of the Bavarian Radio Symphony Orchestra and the Berlin Philharmonic, where her appointment as one of the orchestra's first female members caused controversy. So this was in 1982. And she actually got voted out of the orchestra because the way that the Berlin Symphony Orchestra worked is, sorry, the Berlin Philharmonic worked is that they'd have a probation period for a certain period of time from when they bring on a new musician to until they decide whether they're going to be a full member. And what else? And they like voted her off. And well, they cited like just her tone not blending with the uh, philharmonic with like the ensemble. It was kind of obvious that they did that because she was like one of the first women and they just didn't want her on there, which stinks. But you know, it's fine now because she's like a world class musician. She's great. And And if you're looking for like different clarinet repertoire to just listen to, I definitely recommend you check her out. She has a lot of recordings. Aw, thanks, Metaleaf. I do have all of the audio stuff for the choice, but if ever I do another sort of voice acting heavy kind of project, I'll keep you in mind. I definitely, I'm not going to say that. I think I might want to do a voice acting map at some point. That might be kind of cool. Might be a fun little project to do. Of course, I have to finish at least one map before I get into all the other stuff. For the longest time, I had that Babylon map up, but there wasn't ever much participation, and yeah. I don't know. I've been thinking about hosting another map a long time now. I think my big issue with the Babylon one, I didn't pick like a very accessible song or anything. It was more just something I wanted to get done, and Black Knight has shown me that if I want to get something like that done, I should probably just do it myself. But I mean, I have a few fun map ideas in mind. I have a shipping map I want to do. I have some scripted ones, a lot of scripted ones, a couple storyboard ones that I want to do. There's a lot. I need to probably gauge interest. And then some people have like expressed interest in maybe doing a map with one of my songs. And while that sounds cool, I don't know if I want to host something like that. Just because I get really self-conscious. I can get a bit funny when I hear my own voice. It's just not fun. And the the thought of having to sit with a clip of my own voice recording and like painstakingly do an animation or like even just a PNB to it. Ugh, that sounds not fun for me. I might host one and do like a storyboard or something because those I can kind of get that out really fast. But that is one of the only ways I could imagine hosting one myself. But if anyone ever wants to do a map using one of my songs, you're free to. It's in the description of most of them, if not all of them. I'm more than happy with you doing anything with them as long as you credit me and link back to the original video or to my channel. But yeah, that's kind of a little something. Do y'all have any questions for me about anything? Oh, something I wanted to mention actually, before we get too far into the stream. Something I found really cool while I was doing like all the setup and just spreading the word about this live stream is a lot of people, and I'm talking like a lot, just like reached out to me and said, "Oh, I have autism. I'm on the spectrum," you know? Lots of people were like, "Oh, I have a sibling or a friend who's autistic." And I think that's really, really cool that like so many people have had experiences with autistic folk. It's really awesome. And I hope that as we can continue in today's world, that we continue to sort of foster a sense of kindness and acceptance to those who are neurodivergent. You know, I think that's something important that we need to keep in mind in today's world. We just need to be kinder. Hmm. Give it a little thought. Yeah. Yeah, I can get down with this. Sorry, I just want to make sure this is nice. Hmm. Gosh, I love that little duck. That's a fun touch. This is for a person on amino called Ursa. they're not on this. I don't know if they're on the stream right now. I really like this character. I might end up. Shh, don't tell them if they're here. If they're not here, I mean. But I might end up doing some extra little stuff for them, just as a thank you. Because it's really nice that they commissioned me, especially for something like this. For those who don't know or didn't see the announcement videos, all of the money that I'm getting from these commissions is going to be given directly to the Autism Self-Advocacy Network, or ASAN. It's a great charity. They have a larger focus on just helping out those who are autistic, just with like different things. It's something great. They really foster that sort of sense of acceptance that you don't get in some organizations, specifically Autism Speaks, which isn't an awesome. If you do the research, it's not an awesome charity to be giving money to if you want to help out autistic folks. I'd suggest I could put down quite a few different ones, quite a few different charities that I'd suggest over Autism Speaks. Yeah. Anyway, do y'all have any questions for me? I'm more than happy to answer anything you have to ask, as long as it's PG or whatever. PG-13? With all the COPA stuff, I've actually gotten hit a couple times. Hit is a strong word. Holly Leap's Escape got recognized as 4 Kids, the original version, not the remastered or whatever. And I don't have the heart to change it, nor the guts to, because I mean, it's Warriors is a weird series. It's in a weird spot for me personally. I was a really early reader, and I read it. I started reading the books when I was about 6, so I don't feel like I can be the authority on when what age the typical fandom is. I will say when I was most involved in the fandom, I was older than 13, but that mostly has to do with the fact that as a kid I took like the sort of rules like you cannot have a YouTube account until you're like 13. I took that rule very seriously, and that's something just about me. I have a tendency to take like those types of rules at face value, and I've worked on being a bit more free thinking, especially in the past few years. But especially when I was younger, which makes sense because I was a really goody two shoes kid. I took that type of stuff very, very seriously. I can't just lie on the internet. That's illegal. Yeah. A little saturation just for a little extra. Just a touch. Okay. Nice. Ooh, the lack of shortcut keys is like, it's like, ugh, it's no fun. Big ol' headache, but it's fine. We're making it through. So this song that's playing right now, I played in high school. I think it was my junior year. Yeah, high school, my junior year, for our solo and ensemble competition we have yearly. And actually, I qualified. I qualified for state solo and ensemble on this. And the way you do that is by playing it memorized, which I did. It was the first time I'd memorized any sort of solo piece. Honestly, probably the last time I have for a while. But I haven't been in a lot of competitions since I've gotten to college. It's mostly just been learning. But yeah, it was a fun experience. For the longest time, this song, it's called Strange Humors, it's by John Mackey. For the longest time, I wanted to do sort of like one of those animated thesis shorts using this piece. I've just always really liked it. It's high energy, which can be fun for like a silent film kind of deal where there's no words or anything. But yeah, that's about it for this one. Does anyone else do any music stuff? I know Metal Leaf has done some singing, which is awesome. Are there any instrument people? Instrument people? Are there any people that play instruments or do singing or anything? Do vocal work? Because it's cool to see who in the audience does. I can do that in a minute. Man, even the delete button isn't working for this. That's very inconvenient. Okay. What's the biggest? Oh, hello. Metal Leaf asks, what was the biggest misconception about the Warrior Cat series that you had, like when you first saw about it? Oh, that's actually a really interesting question. That's a good question. I didn't actually have that kind of experience with it personally, but that's because, like I mentioned before, when I first read the Warrior series, so I was kind of, I guess you could say, a prodigy when I was younger. I peaked in fifth grade. I started out able to read at a very, very young age. So I didn't have any misconceptions about the fandom or the series or anything because I was too young to. It was in about '06 that I was reading it. So it also wasn't huge. It was like right before the big boom in 2013 or whenever it was. Yeah, yeah, 2013 feels like a good a good year to say Warriors was really big for me at least. Don't know about every just the general population. Feels like it's getting kind of a renaissance right now. As much of a renaissance as a fandom can get, with all the content creators out there and all the like talented channels. Oh gosh, it is amazing to see uh, all the cool content that's out there right now. That's Warriors related. I'm trying to think of some of the cool content examples. Uh, Falcon develops. If anyone in this chat hasn't watched his videos, he was the person, he was the man who did, he's the user who did um, the Warrior Cats RPG game back in a bajillion years ago. It was just like this RPG exclusively about warriors. It's really fun. And there's a channel now where he just talks about that type of stuff, and it's really fun, really cool, really interesting. A very different, very different. I already heard this one. One minute. There we go. We are weird. Can't speak. It's a different aspect of warrior cats content that you don't see very often. Like sort of the prototypical warrior cats content creator. They do like art and animation, maybe a map or two. Falcon develops. They do like sort of more like the game and the fandom side of it, which is really interesting. A very different perspective than what you get all the time. For me, since I read a ton of animal books, for real. Back in the day, like animal books would be all that I read because that was one of my special interests growing up, just animals in general. And honestly, probably is still. And anytime like I'd pick up a book about people, I'd be like, ah, this is so disappointing. Yeah. Uh, when I was especially young, 5 or 6, when I started the series, not 5, heavens above. When I was about 5, when I was about 6, when I started the series, I essentially wouldn't read anything other than books about animals. I was really into horses. I loved horses. I can still draw them, and they're pretty to me. I've ridden one in the past year. But I was super like into horses. That was the special interest and all special interests for me back in the day. Yeah. How are you guys liking this sort of stream format with the microphone and me like talking? I kind of like it. I've never done anything like it, but it's really cool to just allow the words to leave. I haven't spoken in a couple days because uh, self quarantine and all that, so I haven't seen anybody, so I haven't had a reason to talk except for on the phone with like family and stuff. So it's kind of nice to be able to speak for once again. And like actually talk, not just like the scripted stuff I have to do for videos. Because with videos, I have a tendency to like kind of stumble over my words. Like it's really easy for me to misspeak or something. So I have to script stuff out. But yeah, I kind of like this format. Gonna stick to it in the future. Says I have an internship. Ah, dude, that's awesome. That's really cool, Metal Leaf. Yeah. I took horseback riding lessons in 5th grade, I think. And the instructor, she really liked me because I was a good kid. Um, it was just, it was really fun. I rode on this one horse. He was super old. His name was Aztec, and I loved him. And then the teacher moved away, and she sold the horse that I rode on to one of her other students. Because Aztec was a phenomenal, amazing, like kind of therapy animal. Well, I wasn't, so I wasn't diagnosed back in the day, but the other student who ended up buying the horse, he was diagnosed with autism, and Aztec, the horse, he was a really good, sort of calm ride, a really good therapeutic animal, I'd say. So, in fairness, that bastard of a horse freaking spooked on me. Spooked while I was on him one day because there was a man walking by with a bicycle, and for whatever reason, this horse hated bicycles. So he took off, and I was like in the saddle, and I didn't fall, but I was so scared. It was terrifying. Oh, okay. So the piece playing right now, this is actually this is my main solo for the semester. So I've been working on this song. Sorry, 1 minute. I'm gonna mute the microphone because I'm about to cough, and I don't want to break y'all's ear. Anyway, so what I was saying, there was a gosh, what was it? Solo. So this piece is Solo de Concord by Roubaud. It's a competition piece, and I'm working on playing it. I actually have juries tomorrow. Juries is like the test that we have to do for music. Um, but they're doing it online because of all the pandemic stuff. So I have to record it in order to send it in tomorrow. Yeah, it's a really cool piece, as you will hear in a bit. There's like 3 sections. It's great. What inspired you to do this stream? And do you think you'll do any future streams like this? Is a question Noli asks. So what inspired me to do this stream? Uh, I was diagnosed with autism in November, and that I think was the main catalyst that inspired me. That, along with some current events going on, specifically, there's been at my school, there's been sort of like this big surge in sort of I don't know how to put this. So at my school, it's very very like conservative, kind of traditional men and women and all that, which sucks for anyone really, LGBT or otherwise. And there was this recent, gosh, think it was about 2 weeks before everything got closed down. The main so I go to a BYU school, I should say that. I go to a BYU school, uh, and the BY school system, the BYU school system, it's owned by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or the Mormon Church, and they have, for the longest time, they've had this rule in the honor code, which is essentially like the school's rules, where anyone who wants to like date somebody of the same gender or whatever, like LGBT stuff, basically, they're not allowed to do that, which is horrible, isn't it? It's like awful. And recently, like 2 weeks before everything got shut down, they sort of quietly removed. Sorry, it's been a month now, actually. About a month ago, they quietly removed the section in the honor code that prohibits same-sex dating and stuff. And people like noticed it almost immediately because it's important to a lot of people. And when they noticed it, they'd go and ask like administrators or honor code, like the honor code office at the school, if they were now allowed to date, and they all said yes. So they went out and started dating, and then literally 2 weeks later, meaning that they let it sit, the head director of the honor code system, the honor code office, came out with a statement saying that like same-sex dating or romantic pursuits are still not allowed at the school because they don't lead to like marriage and stuff. And I'm like, ugh. And a lot of people were mad, justifiably so, because like a lot of people felt like they were now safe to come out and do and be true to themselves. And I actually did join in some of the protests that were being held by the student body in protest of this switch up with the honor codes. And that main thing kind of pushed me to think, well, what other issues am I passionate about right now that I want to help out with? And one of the big ones, especially since April is Autism Acceptance Month, since April is Autism Acceptance Month, I wanted to do something for that because I recently have been I'm autistic. I've been diagnosed with autism now, and I think it's important that I use my platform and the privileges I have to help uh, other people with it. You know? But yeah, that's why. Because activism is kind of an important part of my personal philosophy, and I want to help out with advocacy and all that in places that I can. And this is definitely a perfect spot where I can. Gosh, what a cute character. I'm still not getting over it. I love little like sailor characters. This is so cute. Ah, so glad that Ursa commissioned me for this. Especially since all of the money is going to be going to ASAN. It's going to be great. Uh, hmm, thinking about changing the canvas size. We'll see. We will see how this goes out first. Oh gosh, this song is a bop. This song is called Rocky Point Holiday. It was. Sorry if talking about music isn't fun for some people. Music is one of my special interests. So, this song is called Rocky Point Holiday. It's being performed here by the Dallas Wind Symphony. And I did this piece sophomore year in high school. it's insanely hard. I don't know what our band director was thinking when he gave it to us. It's so hard. Like even now, if I was given the sheet music, I'd have to work on it, you know. And poor sophomore me was struggling already with music. But yeah, it's a really cool song. It feels kind of like it's from like a Spielberg movie or something, you know. Just that contemporary vibe. Super fun. Yeah. I have a few like mood board images for beaches. This character's gonna be sitting on the beach. I'm trying to decide what time of day I want it to be. Because the thing is, I don't want to like imitate the images directly, just because that doesn't sound very fun for me. But I do want to have that sort of similar vibe as it. Ooh, that's off center. How are we gonna fix that? So we're gonna center that. Because I can't just do it from there because all the layers are clipped. Ooh, what's this? Is it Shostakovich? Of course it is. This is one of the movements in the which string quartet is it? So this is one of the movements in Shostakovich's Eighth String Quartet, and it's interesting. I like Shostakovich personally. If you want to learn more about some music history stuff, specifically about Shostakovich, I would suggest checking out the YouTuber Tantacrul, Tantacrul. He's a music YouTuber and part of like this community, and he has a full, I think it's a half-hour video just on uh, Dmitry Shostakovich and sort of like his life and what he had to deal with while living in Soviet Russia. And it's really like fascinating look into a composer. It's one of the videos that really has gotten me into this kind of music history stuff that I'm a big fan of now, seeing as I'm a music major. I hope to continue being learning about as time goes on. Hmm, can't tell. Yeah. Yeah. The more I think about it, the more likely it is that I'm probably going to do this style of stream again. At least for the very fact that I'm able to like info dump and stuff. Ah, gosh, it's so fun. Just able to talk and talk and talk, and no one can be like, come on, you need to switch topics. It's all me, baby. I'm the entertainment. Mm, what do. I want this to feel centered, but not have it so huge. So I'm gonna try something that might be a bit non-conventional, but we'll see if it works. Move it down to there. What I'm doing right now, I want the body to be centered in the shot, but I also want there to be an even space, even bit of, I'm pointing with my hands, an even bit of negative space above the tail and on the other side of the character as well. So that's why I have the double line art right now. Excuse me. Oh, we're almost there. Just want it to be just so, you know? Just right. Yes, there we go. 5 pixel difference, but it's perfect. Okay. Mm. Oh gosh. I'm so indecisive. That's the worst part right now. Can't make a choice. Miss Blue Frost, dude! Thanks for coming in. Hey, how are you doing? Yes, that is the size I want. Finally. It only took 10 minutes, and now we have to do the vertical, so it's gonna take. Uh, yeah, just a touch on top, you know? Just has to be right. I usually don't do much with canvases, like canvas sizes. That's the weird thing. For this one, I think just because of the nature of the background, I want it to be kind of an intimate scene. And I'm about to undo all of that work I did for the horizontal stuff. Oh no! Have you been sick, or what happened? The best? I'm sorry. Has it just been like life stuff? Because I can feel you on that. Mm. Thanks. I'm glad you like the composition. Yeah, I've been like antagonizing myself over it for the past few minutes, but I think this is a good point. This is a good version. Yeah. Genuinely, usually when I do this kind of stuff, I don't I don't touch the canvas size after I set it. I usually just do the standard 1920 by 1080 sort of full screen size, and then that's it. But lately, I've just been wanting to play with that canvas size, you know. And this seems like a good opportunity for it. It's gonna be daytime. I can't fathom centering the sun right now. Oh, oh good, oh good. I only read the first half, and I was super worried that something had happened to the cat. That is scary, though. I have well, my family now. Uh, I have a pet cat. Her name is Chanel. She's fantastic. 10 out of 10 cat. Really great. She's about 9 or 10 years old, and while we were living in our old house because my family moved, she was losing a lot of weight really quickly. Just from age, I imagine. She's about 10, like I said, so she's like right on the cusp of being a senior. She's kind of middle-aged, old lady kind of deal. Yeah. Oh no. Picky cat? That's the worst. When you're like trying to give them medicine and they're just not taking it. That is the worst. I'm sorry. Yeah, we just for our cat, we just had to switch her food over. It was just something basic like that. She wasn't getting all the nutrients she needed. And she's always been like super not picky because I imagine because she like grew up as an alley cat, so like or like on the streets, she was a stray. Um before she got taken in. I'm not sure if she was like a rehabilitated feral or just a stray. We never really asked when we got her. But she's never been particularly picky. But that is frustrating when they're so choosy, huh? Okay, we can get down with this. This is a bit better. It feels better now that there's like some line work or something, you know? I think that's just what I had to do. Oh, dang. Good for her. Excuse me, sir. Did y'all hear that car horn? That was distracting. But yeah, that's awesome that she's 15 or 16. That's really cool. Yeah, that's good color. I should be careful with this brush because I like to use it and then render everything out to high heaven. It can just become a mess. So I have to be careful. So for that it gets darker around here. Yeah. Mm. I want it to be a bit more that color. Oh, yeah, those are some fun ones. Those are some fun emojis. Yeah, that works. Um, that. I just had a thought. So for a few weeks, I've been wanting to gauge interest on what what you guys think about another album release. I remember if you remember, I released The Fallen in January of 2018, I think. I'm kind of for the longest time, since summer, I've been toying with the idea of releasing another album. So it was just a really cool experience for me. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna do it, but if I do, I'm wondering, would you guys be interested? Warriors related or otherwise. Aw, thanks, y'all. Yeah. Yeah, I still like will check in on the phone every so often. It can be a bit weird for me to listen to my own voice constantly. It just isn't very fun for me personally. But I still am very proud with, I'm very happy with a lot of the songs that I did. Some of them, I feel like if I messed with them a little longer or redid them, they'd be way better now. But I think with that one, and especially just in the future, I'm not going to try and do any more quote unquote remasters. I want to focus mostly on just moving on from one project to the next without stepping back all the time. But yeah, I have a few concepts for different albums, a few projects that I want to do. And since we're all here, since we're all like stuck at home, like I imagine I'm gonna have a lot of time, especially after tomorrow. That's like my big work day where I'm gonna be doing all of my finals and stuff. It won't be hard, but it will be time consuming. I imagine after I get all that done, that I'm gonna have a bit more time to just make stuff again. And I've been making a lot of stuff now as well. That's why I'm able to do like this commission stream and stuff. Like I've just had so much free time, you know? But yeah. Mm. Okay. So far the water's looking okay. I've had a storied history with water. It can be kind of hard for me to do it sometimes. It's just one of those things. Like for the longest time, trees would give me huge problems, and even nowadays they can still be kind of a hit or miss kind of deal. The water's always been a bit hard, but I'm actually really liking how this one's turning out. I might have to remember the strategy I'm doing so I can do it again. Ah, lucky. Blue Prospect's so lucky. No, so the big thing for me, I do have a few like digital. So a lot of all of my classes actually, they got moved to online basically for the rest of the semester. We had like a week break where the teachers just reformatted the last like week or so, because uh, the way my school works is we get done really quickly, and we have a super long breaks in between. Um, so because of that, they were able to just do like the last few classes online. But because they were able to do that, and since like 99% of the semester was done, I still have to do exams and stuff. But it's not horrible. It's just inconvenient, I guess is the right word. Mainly, the main thing tomorrow is my jury performance. So juries are like essentially finals for music majors, where you have to perform whatever pieces you've been working on all semester. So I've had a lot of time to practice for those, and I'm hoping that it shows tomorrow. I have to send in a recording and all that. It should be fine. Not feeling this one or this one. Gosh, 3 in a row. Dang. Yeah, our classes. I don't. The way my school works, it runs on like a 3 semester program, so everything's like 3 months long. We started back in January, and we're finishing like next week. It's crazy to me how fast we go. It does mean for a lot of nice breaks. It is interesting though, and I imagine I don't know if it's true or not. I wonder if like the end of April is kind of a standard time period for most colleges or schools to get through. This piece that's playing right now, it's called Petite Piece. It's by Debussy, sorry, and it's actually one of the pieces I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So for those who were here a bit earlier, Slow de Concord, that's my fast piece, and this is my slow one. Sort of a French music year, which is cool. Oh yeah. So for the way we're doing juries, sorry I didn't see that sooner. The way they're doing juries is they'll be doing. I'll have to record a YouTube video, which I'm gonna be posting on like an unlisted, not this channel, just for personal privacy and all that. I might post a recording here just publicly, an audio recording, I should specify, because for the juries it's a video. That's why it's gonna be an unlisted private video on a undisclosed YouTube channel. But yeah, I imagine I'll probably post a recording or something of it on here as well because I've been working my butt off for it and I'd like to share, you know? Mm. What's playing right now is Scheherazade by Rimsky-Korsakov. It was one of the pieces we did, one of the big pieces actually, that we did for the symphony orchestra. It was really, really cool to play it. It's like one of the big standard repertoires kind of deals. Super cool. Phenomenal violin soloist. Uh, like this recording, it's not us, obviously. Um, the violinist that we had, I think she's a senior, and she like freaking tore up the violin solo that you just heard. Um, so I'm not sure what model of instrument she uses, but gosh, just the musicianship is amazing. Sorry, I'm like having to switch between windows. Usually I have my phone open to watch the chat as it goes, but it's being funny right now. Just saw your message. This way fast recording is pretty nice. Yeah, yeah. So what's really nice is something interesting. We have to do one like full extended take for the whole audition, which is gonna take about, gosh. So we're doing the full songs. I'm doing two songs. One of them is about 2 minutes. One of them is about 5, 7. And then I also have to do all of my scales, major and minor, both harmonic and melodic minor. And that's going to be an additional, I'd say, a good 5 to 10 minutes. So, oh, yeah, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes, I think, is probably how long the recording's going to be. We have to do it in one take, which is the big thing, but that isn't horrible. I mean, I've had to do concerts a bit longer, way longer than 30 minutes. So a recording for 30 minutes, it sounds like a lot, and it can be a lot uh, for some people, but I've had to do a lot of long hours. So I have the endurance, but gosh, if I didn't, that would not be a fun time. Okay, okay. This background is, yeah, actually, this is good. Okay. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. Mm, what's that blend? Yeah, that one's okay. Oh, so Scheherazade has some really cool clarinet parts. I was actually second clarinet for it. Thanks, Miss Frost. Thank you. So I was second clarinet, so there's not a lot of solos where you hear me. It would be the first clarinet, who is a junior in my ensemble that I was in. And she was a really nice person. She's taught me a lot. And she's actually getting married this next semester, guys. Isn't that crazy? Gosh, romance and all that. So wild. No, that's something that's kind of tripping me out right now. Just like people growing up and all that. Something I'm having to get used to. Just, oops. I've been getting married now. I'm gonna put this down a bit. No, that doesn't seem right. Bro, I don't have many regrets in life, but I have one. I have a big one. A big one is so I used to live in sort of a larger city, and while I was visiting my family this winter, we went. My brother and I were really close. We're about 18 months apart in age. He's 18 months younger than me. We went to a record shop, and they had a live recording of, I think it might have been the British Philharmonic or something. I don't know if that's a thing actually. It might have been the New York Philharmonic. I'm so bad with ensemble names. Some like bigger, high profile um, symphony had a recording of this on vinyl, and I had just recently gotten a record player for Christmas, like just like one of those nice $40 ones, nothing too fancy or anything, just something, you know. And I really regret not getting that recording because that would have been so cool to have that and just listen to it. Because one of the ways that you can count your practice hours, you have to do about 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day for a music major. Um, you can do listening, so I should have gotten that, so I could have used that. I'm gonna checking the chat now. Same with Blue Frost. Same. Like growing up, it's bizarre. Can't relate. It's just, it is weird, and I have to get used to it because say let be and all that, you know. I'm debating between adding clouds and not, or just keeping like these little guys. I'm gonna add them. I like clouds. So that's fun though. Nothing too intense. Sometimes I'll over render clouds where they're just gonna be like, or they'll end up being too done over, you know? There's just like too much detail on them, especially for how far away they are. Yeah, makes sense. Big one right there. Just a couple closer ones, I guess, is what these are. Yeah. Gosh, I need to do more beaches, but this is actually really fun. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Yes, that's nice. And good colors too. That's something great about beaches. They have like this nice color palette that you don't get in a lot of environments. Hi. Hi, Clover, the warrior cat. Thank you for coming on stream. And sour salts. That's awesome. I have autism too. I'm autistic. Yeah. It's actually one of the big reasons why I wanted to do this today. Just want to advocate and use my platform to help just bring acceptance and awareness to those of us who are on the spectrum. Oh, I don't know if I said this earlier. I have the link to the charity that the commission money from this artwork is going to. I have the link to the donation page down in the description if you want to donate directly. I am also more than willing to take on any commissions if any of you guys want to do that while on stream. Just shoot me an email at contactdavinci131@gmail.com. I have that email address down in the description. Commissions for this current event are going to be about $5. They're going to start at $5. It's name your price. You just say what price you want, $5 or higher, basically. And yeah, any level of complexity for that price. Like the piece I'm working on right now is a $5 piece. There is no like hierarchy of how detailed you can get depending on the piece. It's just you send in the money, you say what you want, and I do it basically. Yeah, awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, autism pride, y'all. Come on. Yeah, that's something really cool that I was mentioning earlier. Just like uh, as I've been getting ready for this stream, a lot of people have reached out to me and been like, "Oh, I have an autistic sibling. I have somebody on the spectrum that I know," you know. And it's really awesome to just see that sort of acceptance and that kindness, and that you know we're not alone. A lot of people share our experiences. I think that's really cool. That's good. Okay. So both this song and the last one, both this piece, sorry, that's the proper proper phrase for it. Both this piece and the last one are being played by Ludmila Peterkova. She's a clarinetist. I don't know much about her. I should do more research. But she has this album called Playful Clarinet, and that's where both of these pieces come from. She's really fun. Do y'all have any questions for me? I figured since this is sort of a relaxed, unscheduled kind of stream, well, not unscheduled, but there's no like specific talking points that I feel the need to go over other than the ones I've already discussed. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them. I love answering questions because I like to input them. If you couldn't tell, I like to talk a bit. And I've been cooped up for a long time. All my roommates moved out, like recently, because none of them live in town. I actually live in town, so I'm just here until the end of time, I guess. And so it's just been me at the apartment. which means I don't do much talking, which means now I want to talk a lot. Favorite clan? Good question. Good question, Clover. Yeah, so my favorite Warrior Cats clan has to be Ripper Clan. They're just the best ones. I don't care what anyone else says, they're my favorite. They're really fun. I just like the concept of like cats liking water. Whoa, that's crazy. Even though it's not too crazy, it's just funny to me, you know? It's a fun clan. Uh, anyone who wants to, feel free to put their favorite clan down in the description. Close second is probably Sky Clan because I love their names and I like how resilient they are. I think that's just awesome. Just how like they just don't go away. It's just the best. And I like Leaf Star too. She's one of my favorite characters. Yeah, that's a good clan, Blue Frost. I love the Sky Clan. They're so cool. How about you, Clover? What's your favorite? Oh, I just realized what song is playing. This is called Benny's Gig. I actually have played this piece. Um, so what it is it's a clarinet and bass duet. So I actually do it with my brother. He plays the bass. He's really good. We did it for a school like talent show for the theater program to raise money. So fun, so fun. I actually did this part of it. Something cool with it. It has sort of like this uh, sort of like Latin feel where it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Essentially, what it is, rhythmically and meter wise, is that the tempo, not the tempo, the time signature, it switches every other measure from 3/4 to 4/4. So that means from 3 beats per measure, like a waltz, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it gives sort of like this kind of offset vibe that you can hear in the da 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 da. Yeah, it was a really cool piece to play. Checking the chat again. That's a good point, Miss Blue Frost. I don't know why I keep calling you Miss Blue Frost. That's a good point, Blue Frost. So, like, I think it does really depend on like how the clan is, how the different Warrior Cats clans are being handled book to book as well. It's just it really also depends on like what writers over at Working Partners are doing, like what the editors and everything are doing. Because it feels like the ideas and the concepts of the different clans and how they're different has kind of changed over time. And I think that just happens with time. And as like the writing staff and the editing staff kind of slowly shifts. Dude, this is like only tangentially related, but bro, one day when I'm a millionaire, I want to get one of those weird cat plushies. I don't care if they don't look like it's amazing or anything. They look so soft, and I just love. Yeah, Blue Frost. It was an interesting time. It took a bit of. So I had actually heard of the alternating time signature before I looked at the piece, because I watched this one YouTuber. He's called Sideways, and he does like music theory analysis of just different pop culture stuff essentially. And he had a video about West Side Story and part of that video was talking about the song America from there, and it has that time signature in it. So I was aware of what the time signature was before I got the music, before like I bought it. So that did help, and it helped me be able to explain to my brother like what was going on and why it had like a 3/4 and a 4/4 at the beginning of the song, you know? So I was lucky in that sense. Boy, once I finish the tail, I'm gonna be able to shade. That's always my favorite. Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I saw the poll too. Sorry, I have a bit of a delay between what's being played on the stream and what pops up in the chat, essentially. So I'm sorry if like one's mind has moved over, the topic has moved over, or whatever. I get these kind of sporadically. Yeah, I voted for Leaf Pool, but that's because she's my favorite, and I need one. I'm also really excited that Brightheart, last time I checked, was on one of the top ones because I think it'd be really cool to see how they do Brightheart. I love Brightheart. And then who else was at the top? Swirlflight was at the top, and that's awesome too. I love Swirlflight, and I can imagine her just being super fluffy. Going through this, they haven't had much body shape varieties lately, with the three they have already. Like they kind of have a different face shape, and that's about it. I don't know. Maybe we'll see more variety as more characters come out. I just want them to come out now, just so I can be irresponsible with my money without having to think about it too much since I'm quarantined. Woo, this song is intense. This is Dance Bohem, but from the Carmen Suite, I believe. Played it in the the high school's symphony orchestra. Yeah, I didn't think about voting for Brightheart when I initially did it, and I'm such an old woman. I don't know if there's even like a way to. No, I'm not feeling this. I don't even know if there's like a way to change your vote after you finish. So, not sure. Sorry if all the clarinet is putting some people off. I am a clarinet major, so of course my work playlist has a lot of that on it, because that's my life. The musician playing right now, his name is it Martin Frost? Yeah, Martin Frost. Not sure exactly where he's from. He's amazing. I love him so much. I love his music. He has a few live performances on YouTube, just recordings. You really need to check them out if you want to see an awesome performance. He's done some klezmer, which is sort of like a traditional Jewish folk music, and it's so cool just to hear. Just some amazing stuff, and he's super like skilled. He's like a virtuoso. He's amazing. Yeah, Brightheart is a big fave for me too. She's just I haven't read the books in a while, so I can't speak for all the series, but I miss back in the day where like background characters would have arcs. I miss that a bit. And I imagine now with like the soft reboot that Warriors has kind of gotten over the past couple of series, that there's been more like more background character arcs than there have not been nowadays. So I really miss how they have that, like with Cinderpelt, Longtail, and Brightheart, just like all these characters getting their own sort of little stories. And I think that's what made Warriors and what makes the original series able to hold up so well even now. Just the fact that there's that kind of like larger than life world kind of vibe to it. You know, like it feels like there's a lot going on in the world, and the fact that there's just so many characters that aren't the main focus of the story, and they still have their own lives. I think that's something that helps make it feel more real as a cat book can feel. Gosh, this song is such a jam. This is an arrangement of artist by Monty. Monty? Monty. Yeah, dude, so good. I like this arrangement the most. Um, it's a lot easier. It sounds a lot less technically challenging on the original in the original arrangement, which is for violin, if I remember correctly. It's a lot less this craziness. But it's like one of those classical staples, I guess. One of those big classical repertoires that you can hear in a lot of contests. Oh, there we go. So, like right here, for example, in the original arrangement, it's just the piano interlude. There's no trills or anything. If y'all have any music requests, feel free to send them in. Keep in mind that I can't do anything like the Beatles because my stream will instantly get copyright claimed and just stop playing. I want to try and get this entire piece finished before I go offline. I'm getting close to finishing it too. Kind of surprised how fast I've gotten with this. I think I need to just be better about focusing with some other work. Um, I imagine I could get it done very quickly. Alright, so this next song is Earth Song by Frank Chicali, who's an American composer. It's very good. I think he's an American composer. Gosh, I hope I didn't just mix him up with Bernstein. But yeah, he's really awesome. There's one piece I played of his in high school where I had a minute-long solo. It might be on this playlist, so I'll tell you what it is if it comes up. This is a vocal piece by him. It's very calming, very nice. Frankie Kelly is one of those favorites for a lot of high school and college directors because his music has sort of varying levels of intensity in terms of difficulty, from what I've seen, and they all sound really nice. Like they have a great kind of style to them. One specific piece that I'd suggest you listen to from him is Angels in the Architecture. Amazing. Just super, super like intense, loud, wild, everything. It's so good. Makes me feel a lot when I hear it. Mm. Mm. Real quick, I might in a few minutes just step away from the keyboard to grab some water or something. I haven't talked in a while, so you can imagine my throat should be a bit dry today. Do all these steps. My shortcut keys, I don't know how many times I've said this now. It's been a couple, I think. My shortcut keys, I updated Metabang, which is the program I'm using right now. And, oh, 2 seconds. It's wanting to be buggy. Anyway, I updated Metabang yesterday, this morning, and it took away all my shortcut keys. So I'm just living in sorrow now. Should I lock it? What's going on? Why are you getting like that? Oh, that's fine. I just press the button like you do. I was worried that I was glitching out. It's happened before where if I click away using my tablet, like to go to a different window, that it'll like just stop responding to my tapping and then it'll crash, which has costed me a lot of work in the past. I can imagine. For a second, I thought the lines were being weird. This tablet really is great. I actually kind of want to release like a. Oh, I'm not feeling good for that. Sorry. Yes. Okay. So have been wanting to like make a little review for it. It's the I don't remember what it is. It's a Huion. I think it's the G10T or something. It's the one with the trackpad on it, and it's really nice. It's a huge improvement from my last one, my last short tablet, which I've had for like 9 or 10 years now. So if you can imagine, anything would be better than something that's been used that long. It's had heavy use for 10 years. And I mean, it's a Wacom, so it's lasted an obscenely long time. But it is about time. It was time. The wire was broken and everything. It was time to change. I am happy with this new tablet. I do want to release a review, like I said. But I wanted to wait because the big thing that people ask is like, how has it held up over time? And this guy, I got it in November, and it's been holding up really well. It's still working fine. I think it might be an issue with just the mix of Yuyon and Metabang or something. Or it might be my computer, which causes the crashing on Metabang. I don't know. But I've contacted both sites with bug reports, so I'm looking into another screen tablet. Oh, that's awesome. It's cool that you got an iPad Pro. Yeah. When I was looking at tablets, the consumer in me, the one that wanted to, the person who likes to just spend money, just oh gosh, I really wanted to get a screen tablet, which was just horribly foolish of me to want because I can't do that in good conscience right now since I'm doing college and all that. And since like a lot of my any like extra income should be going towards like upgrading my instrument and all that, job stuff. Yeah, I imagine in a few years' time that I likely will try and switch over to maybe a Huion graphics tablet, maybe a Parblo. I don't know, just whatever, just a screen tablet, because I think that'd be really cool to have, and it might help my workflow a bit. Because my workflow, it's good. It's a lot better than it was in the past, but it's not like amazing, So, like switching in a few years when this guy, the one I'm using right now, goes kaput. I think switching to a screen tablet is probably the most logical upgrade from where I'm at right now. But yeah, how's the iPad Pro? It's like I imagine. I've been curious about how the iPad Pro is. And like I've seen time lapses with Procreate, and I love all their brush set. I can't speak. I love all their different brushes. They look really cool. Something that I really like to see is like that textured kind of look, kind of that tactile vibe. And I haven't seen many brushes on Medibang. In fairness, I haven't done much research into them. I haven't seen many like that here. Like the main one is the rough watercolor, and even that only goes to a certain extent. You don't have like a crayon or whatever. Not a crayon. You don't have like a charcoal kind of brush on Medibang from what I've seen. Not like a super rough, scratchy looking one, which is what I'm looking for. Or wanting. Looking for the best though, given my shading style and all that. I'm welcome to this little. Oh yeah. I can imagine that. Blue. Yeah. So my first drawing tablet, not my first, my last one. It was a Wacom Bamboo from 2011, somewhere around there. And it it's lasted me a long time. And I think just in the past couple of months, just all the traveling I've done with it, moving from one state to another to go to college, that definitely has caused some damage to the wires. So this new tablet, it's actually wireless, which is one of the big things I wanted to have if I was switching over to Huion. Because one of the big complaints I hear from a lot of people who buy Huion is that the cords break really easily. So I just want to circumvent that. But it's nice having like a wireless one. I'm able to sit in a lot more comfortable positions. It's been better or worse for my back, just depending on the day, I guess. Oh man, this is some intense stuff. That's nice. Ooh, dang! I didn't realize Procreate had an animation stuff on it. I've been like toying with different versions, different animation programs. My most recent frame by frame stuff has all been on other than the AMV I did last week. Other than the AMV I posted last week, everything frame by frame has been done using OpenTunes, and it's really really fun. It's nice to be using an animation software rather than my past work style, which has been to draw everything in Medibang and then export it to a really old program called Anime Studio 9, and then putting the frames together in there. And the reason I don't love that technique is because one, it takes forever to just constantly be exporting and importing and moving stuff around into the right layers and all that. And then also, in past, since last year really, I've had issues with exporting to where whenever I import something into the animation program that I was using to compile everything, it would just, sorry, it would it would corrupt the file to the point where it would just be a broken JPEG basically, meaning I couldn't like use it for anything. So it's been a long time coming since I wanted to change animation software. Oh yes, 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 Blue. I agree. Just being able to have that flexibility of sitting on my bed while drawing without having to like hold the cable just so, or have my arms close to the keyboard. Because something too with the old bamboo I had, it didn't have any like express keys on it, so no like little buttons to press in order to do stuff. I mean, they're not doing much for me right now, but for the most part, um, sorry, this song got me off guard. For the most part, being able to use like the express keys to do like all these cool little shortcuts and stuff, it's been amazing, and it's helped me go faster. I don't have to sit right up next to the keyboard if I don't want to. It's awesome. Nice change. A lot more flexibility. I was hoping maybe it fixed itself. Because for a second there, it did the brush shortcut that I have. Here's a question for y'all. What did you think of the new Star Wars if you've seen it? I have mixed feelings. I don't really like the idea of Rey and Kylo Ren being together personally, in a romantic sense. In any sense, really. I don't think that was a healthy relationship. And I also don't love the fact that Rey's a topic. Spoilers, by the way. I don't love the fact that Rey ended up being a Palpatine. I feel like that kind of goes against like the theming of like the Force can come from anyone, you know. And then like the main heroine is all of a sudden like part of this weird bloodline thing, and I'm like, can we just have a person, you know, someone who's anyone? And that's actually something. That's one thing that I take umbrage with in the new books. The fact that everyone is related to someone, you know, like they're like related to Firestar. It's just exhausting for one. That's why I kind of like the idea for having a character. Kind of, I don't know, just because the original book it was about like how well anyone can be a hero or a warrior, you know, like Firestar came from nothing and now he's like important and everything. And now in these new books, it's just all of his progeny, you know. And that's one of the reasons why I like the idea of Rupa a little more than I like the idea of Alderheart. I love Alderheart as a character, in fairness. To be fair, I love Alderheart as a character. I haven't read any of the new Broken Code books. I want to. I have the time to. I just need to do it. I hope I don't get like copyright claims for this song. I'm gonna skip it. I like it, but you know, can't risk it. Not when I'm not done. It would make me very unhappy. Uh, questioning myself on this. Okay, this is another song by Martin Frost. It's called Klezmer Dances #2. It's great. Love it. 10 out of 10. Would listen to again. I think we're getting close to finished. Excuse me. Okay. Kind of sparse shading. Usually I like to just go ham, but since it's sort of like a daylight time, that wouldn't make much sense. Now here's the real question. Do I do the blurry thing after or before? Let's do it before. This is how I get my soft shading, by the way, right here. Nice. Does that look too darker? Does it look fine? Probably pull it back a bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm gonna check the chat again. Okay, 2 seconds. I'm gonna get some water because my voice is getting all scratchy and I keep wanting to cough. So, 1 minute. Alright, and we're back. Sorry about that. Man, we've been going for 2 hours now. That's wild. Ooh, so that's why the... Okay. Well, now I know why stuff is going so slow. It has a low bit rate or something like that. By stuff, I mean the time between me saying something and then it showing up in the live stream. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a little something or other on top. And I forgot. No keyboard shortcuts. Just oh, hold up. Are we gonna be good? That's weird. There we go. We're just gonna do a bit of highlights, nothing too intense. Then we need to do some last minute stuff, and then it should be done. Then stream's gonna be over, and we'll just go along our merry day. Thank you all for coming in, by the way. It's really nice that it's nice to see that people are interested in this type of stuff. This is another piece from the... Ah, jeez, a minute. That's one thing with this tablet. It likes to lag sometimes to the point where it can't do any curves. Like that. Yeah. Hate that. But it was a really cheap tablet, so that's why I can't get too mad at it. It's just sometimes, so it's a wash. That's what we call a wash. This guy a little bit of love. Sorry, that last song, it was from Benny's Gig again. That was the one with the 4-4-3-4 kind of alternating thing. Oh, and then this piece, we were gonna play at one of the concerts that got canceled. Don't remember the name of it. I'm too in the zone to check. Ugh. It's gonna drive me bonkers. Come on. No, that's actually not a good spot for shading anyway. For highlights, I should say. And then this just has like a liquid kind of look to it. Refracts a bit. Okay. That should do the trick. Oh yeah, that looks good. Let's do the thing. That one must always do. Okay. Thank you for the welcome back. Yeah, the stream has been fun. I was worried it would not pan out, or that I wouldn't have much participation from people in the chat, but actually, those of you who have been watching have been amazing, honestly. In past live streams, it's been a bit quiet, though I imagine that's partly uh, due to the fact that I wouldn't do much talking. It would mostly just be like silent art kind of work. But yeah, this is a good setup. I'm gonna do this again definitely. Not sure what this is. I know I've played it. Oh, I know what this is. This is Tridico, I think. Yeah, I was right. Okay, so Tridico, it's this symphony piece I did in high school. Mm, no, I'm not gonna do hard shading on there. That would be silly. I'm gonna be doing the soft stuff because that looks better on the sand. And it's a different texture. That's why we do it like that. What was that? I do not recognize that sound. Okay. Okay, I think that was just from the connection on the YouTube chat thing. Oh, I'm glad you are happy to join. I'm really glad that you've had a good time. I've had a good time with this stream. And I think another thing, I want to do like commission streams in the future, especially now with all this time that we all have. I imagine that would be a good choice to fill up my day somehow. Definition. Okay, there we go. Oh, contemporary music never change. Never change for anyone. Those endings, it's just so modern band. I love it. Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of gradient just to help. Ooh. Oh, I'm glad this song came on. Little mini music lesson. This is some music theory stuff I'm gonna be talking about. So did you hear that? That is the leitmotif. So this song, it's about this a father and this son running, like riding through the woods, uh, being chased by essentially like the elf king, and this is like a bad guy elf, like it's scary back in like the olden days, bad guy elf, you know, and so basically, they're trying to get away from him, and uh, and that dun 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 is a leitmotif or an idea that represents the elf king. And if you listen to the key signatures, how the center of pitch changes throughout the piece. Basically, like how it slowly gets higher and higher in the vocal register, and you put the different like pitch centers, or the notes that are the pitch center, if you put those like together, it has that same kind of running. It's the leitmotif for the Elf King. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's cool. I'd recommend checking out one of Sideways's. Sideways is a music YouTuber. I'd recommend checking out his video, How This One Song Changed My Life. It's talking about that. But it's a cool piece. It's a really good piece if you want to get into some classical stuff. And it requires a lot of acting, which you don't hear in some uh, pieces like this. Just a touch of that. I can't decide. Yeah, that helps with the cohesion. So yeah. It's better. Okay. Yeah, I think that might be it. I think we're done. Let's turn off the music for a bit, just for a bit of talk. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm just checking the chat again. Thank you so much, Blue Panels, guys. I really do appreciate. I do appreciate, even if you're not able to commission. Like, I totally get that. I'm hardly ever in. I'm rarely ever in a financial position to be commissioning. Anyway, I do appreciate you wanting to all the same. So quickly before I log off, thank you all so much for coming. If you're able to donate to any charities this month, specifically any autism-related charities this month, I would urge you to donate to. Let me pull them up. So I'd urge you to donate to a few different ones. So there's. Sorry, I want to make sure I get these ones right. In interest of getting the right ones. So a big one is don't donate to Autism Speaks. If you look into what they've done, it's not a good charity, and with how little of their money actually goes towards people with autism, it's not a good charity. So here's a few from the Charity Navigator, which is a site that rates the legitimacy and how good different charities are. So a few from here that I'd suggest is the Autism Community in Action, National Inclusion Project, Center for Development Services, Organization for Autism Research, Next for Autism, Turning Point Autism Foundation. And then the one that the money from this commission is going to today is the Autism Self-Advocacy Network. And I'd suggest, if you're planning on doing any future sort of donations, that you do some research before doing so, and try and find the best one, the best charity that matches to what you want, and instead of just picking the biggest one. And yeah, I really want to thank everyone who's come today. I really appreciate it, and I especially appreciate just seeing and making these connections with people with autism and with allies. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys in my next video, or whenever the next thing is. Stay safe out there. Don't go outside unless you absolutely have to, like for groceries and stuff. Stay safe. Take care of yourself. Check in on loved ones, and all that jazz. All right, bye.